Hi, hey, hello, this is the Triple D's or
Daddy-daughter discussion. I'm Tyron.
I'm Giselle. And this podcast is kind of just a recap of our year. Do keep in mind, my years are school years. That's how I've been programmed. So I know it's like, this is the beginning of 2023. No, it's the end of 11th grade.
And this in my year is aligned to my birthday. So July 3rd. So my year is
It's still 2022, honestly. So before we start, how was your week?
Well, it's Tuesday. It's been going well.
Yeah, we usually record on a Sunday.
Exactly. We haven't did a podcast in 2 weeks. We've had graduation.
Yeah, just life stuff.
Yeah, we had Adi's track meet. We had my mom and my family here. Your granny, your abuela from Puerto Rico. So my week, the honest question is, how's your 2 weeks been? It's been busy, amazing, upsetting, happy.
Just a mix of emotions.
Yes.
But my 2 weeks, they've been pretty good. I've been chilling. I would say I get to wake up late, but I have the puppies, and they would like to wake me up at 5 in the morning. So I am still waking up school time.
Your dad is getting used to puppies. I let you have them in my house.
Proud of you.
It took me almost a week to get that smell out of my house.
I'm so proud because I don't know if the audience knows. My dad hates dogs.
Hold on now. I don't hate is a strong adjective. I don't hate dogs. I dislike dogs in my house.
To the point where you make them like just poop in front of you every time you get them mad.
Your dog's poop?
No, the dog you have with mom.
That was long time
Every time you got him mad, it would poop. Yeah. Like, I think it takes a talented person to make a dog hate you to the point of just defecating wherever you are.
Since you put it like that.
Yeah, I think hate's the right word.
I don't hate dogs. I just don't like dogs in the house. I don't think they belong in the house. That's their European stuff.
I really think it depends on the size.
I don't think no dog belong in the house. None. Running around in the kitchen. But that's just my opinion. And if I love you, and I will compromise. Because compromise is a part of how I see love too. So I compromise with the dog. So like you said, we're going to do a recap. And we started this journey in October, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it was amazing. You know, the start was, I don't think it was rocky. I think it was something that I didn't realize until now, and we'll talk about it later, that it was something that I needed.
Yeah. It's like one of those things, you feel like, oh, I'm just going to do this. And then later on you realize, wow, that like really, really helped me.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. What are some things that, actually, let me ask another question. What were some of your favorite podcasts that just got you like emotional, got you in your feels, got you happy, sad, all those things?
My favorite was Living in the Moment because I was able to see my progress because when I was talking about it then, it was like, wow, I've come such a long way from where I was before we started. Okay. So I think I appreciate it in that way. The one that like got me emotional was A Letter to Your Younger Self because that just made me realize I have a lot of stuff to work on still. But that just wow, that made me emotional.
Yeah, I do remember that. I was like,
I was tearing up every question. I'm like, so yeah, that was the most emotional. But my favorite was Living in the Moment, simply because I could see the progress I have made myself.
And you know what's funny? A couple of people, I was talking to a young lady just today. And she had listened to the podcast and she started using that word, you know, I got to learn how to live in the moment. I got to learn how to live in the moment. And it took everything in me, but I still did it like, yeah, you've been listening to our podcast, haven't you? Yeah, so for me, the funny thing is, it's not the podcast. I don't per se have a favorite podcast. So if I had to drop it down and say one, well, first of all, I have enjoyed doing this, and I want to continue this journey. I think that has been my most rewarding part of this whole journey. Is you and I connecting, and it's not even about we didn't start this to try to help the world. This was something for us to do our introspective look within ourselves and do the work on us. So if it helps anybody else,
this is the bonus.
Yeah, I think for me it was two: the culture, and then the one we did when you was asking me about Rwanda. I enjoyed that the most because you know what, and it's fine because I don't desire or I need anybody to ask me about certain instances that I went through. But you was authentically like asking, and not you just asking. You actually did your homework on it.
Yeah,
And
I wanted to respect your time. I'm gonna research all I can.
yeah, and I appreciated that. Like you really you knew tribes. You kind of got a better understanding. I think I was just filling in gaps for you, and that was rewarding.
Yeah. Oh, we got 100 on that. So
Oh yeah.
it was rewarding in many ways.
Yeah. You never did tell me. What did your professor?
So he doesn't really put comments, but I was in the hall and we were passing by, and he was like, "Giselle, loved your post." So I think he really liked.
So
it.
did he listen to it?
No, I don't know if he listened to it, but we had to write a summary. But I don't know if he found it on the web because it was posted. Was it?
Yeah, it was posted.
Yeah, I don't know if he found it on the web.
Well, it wasn't. I didn't post it. I sent it to you, and because you told me not to post it.
And that's where I got my summary. But I don't know if it was a summary or he found it, but he loved it. He was like, "I loved your post."
But did you send him the?
I couldn't. It was too big of a file.
Oh, okay.
That's why he wanted us to write a summary.
Okay.
But either way, he loved it. So I think if he hears the real thing, he'll love it even more.
Okay. Well, so some things I think that I have assessed that we got to do better this year is in our year we probably gonna go absent. We'll probably do one once a month until you start school, and then but we'll figure that out as we talk on our vacation in the next 2 weeks. But we need to make sure we put it out there. On my social media, you need to establish a social media, and I'm guilty of it. You know how your social media, that post when I showed everybody's site was the first post I've ever made on Instagram.
First ever post?
First ever post. Second post was with the graduation pictures. So I think we got to do better in just putting the word out, because I realized that if it helped us, it probably can help others that feel the need that they want to listen to it. What about you? You see any improvements?
Nothing that concerns the podcast, other than getting the word out there. That I do need to work on that. I don't think I've told anybody, so I really do need to work on that. But the podcast itself, I think it's progressing in its own way, and I really like how it's progressing.
I agree. I like how it's progressing. From the beginning to now, we're sounding great. Our edits are good. Our music is chiming in. Thanks to my friend Bo Ellis. If anybody would love any of his music, he's a producer, he's a writer. You should check him out. It's Bo Ellis, BOELLIS.com, poetry.com. But he's been our biggest fan. He's been one of our biggest fans, and I'm very appreciative of him. He always speaks highly of you.
Aww.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what was some moments through the podcast that were enjoyable? What part of the podcast did you enjoy doing?
I think
that made you smile or laugh.
All of it.
Okay.
When I'm setting up, I'm having a good time. When we're testing, I have a good time. And when we're talking, I have a good time. Even when I'm crying, I'm having a good time. So it's just all of it. And I like seeing, again, the progression. I keep saying that word. It's
a good word.
Like, I remember when we started the podcast, our communication, it was good, but like now, like I'm talking a lot, I'm communicating my thoughts properly, and I don't think I'd be able to do that without the podcast. And I think that's the most enjoyable, just seeing our communication skills improve. Even you.
Yeah. Oh, you saying I had problems communicating?
Hey, there is room for improvement.
I know. I'm
for
just playing.
everybody.
And honestly, that is one of my biggest takeaways and good is to see myself improve how I communicate. To be able to, within relationships, whether it's with you girls, my daughters, somebody I might be thinking of being with, my mother, my father, it helped me in so many facets that it just put a smile on my face and it makes me happy. I've had some moments, I didn't tear up, I kind of choked up inside when I was seeing you, because I think that those moments that you choked up was I felt, and you can correct me, that you was missing the mark on doing certain things with me. Yeah, and I did not like that. Was not my intent. And I was like, oh no. So you shook your head, yes. So that's what it was?
I think it was a mixture of a lot of things. Like when you say miss the mark, like do stuff with you I could have.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
When I mean by Mr. Mark, I mean you felt, and you got to correct me and fill in the blanks. I felt that what you showed me was that when you was being that emotional about things, is that you wasn't as intentional as you thought you should have been with me, as probably taking me for granted.
I think it wasn't like a thought. It was, I knew I wasn't as intentional as I should have been. And it's not just with your relationship with me. It was like everybody's relationship. Like, I don't know if it's just like a mental thing or maybe genetic thing, but relationships to me, it seemed like a nuisance. Like, not like I could make relationships, but then maintaining them, it was such a nuisance to me. And that kind of made me sad, because like, why am I like this? Like, why do I find it so hard to make and then with this podcast, it was some things within myself I needed to work on. And I feel like our relationship is much better. Like me and mom's relationship is much better. Like we're laughing more.
Oh really?
Me and Adi's relationship, oh my god, it's been good, but now it's better. And me and Belle's relationship, I'm finding like ways to compromise with her, and like ways to connect with her that maybe I may not connect with, but like just to connect with her. So I think like I knew I wasn't being intentional enough, and through this podcast, it was like, okay, it's you. You gotta like fix it.
And see, that is the type of growth that I've noticed within me. Like I've always said to you, to your sisters, to just people I've talked to in general, that 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of stuff that people are doing to us, but a lot of it is we got to do the work within us. Now, if we figure out some of the stuff that triggers us, bother us, a lot of those other things, it'll kind of brush off.
It's like find out what makes you like react and like why it makes you react, and then you'll be good. Because like I think with a lot of people, their problem is they keep reacting. Like stop reacting. Like you're not seeing, you're just reacting. You're making a chemical explosion, and now you can't see anything.
Well, that's easy said than done.
It's much easier said than done.
It takes a level of emotional maturity. And, when I'm looking for someone to date, and I'm thinking of when I'm out, now that I'm on online dating, I actually met somebody that we're just talking a little bit, nothing serious, but that's one of my things that I look for is emotional intelligence. And I have to learn how to measure it, right? And the podcasts have shown me some of those attributes, but one of the things but I'm also willing it's going to continue to grow. But what you just said, it takes a lot of emotional maturity not to just blow up or act. Instead of, this is off topic, but as adults, young adolescents like yourself or as adults, we have attachment styles that we align to relationships. Like one is avoidance, one is secure, and we have fearful avoidance, dismissive avoidance. So depending, and those things are established from childhood. So a lot of those things that what you're talking about within you, it wasn't just you. It might be something that your mother and I, we was missing the mark on you not giving you that much attention. I got to be fair to you. I was deployed a lot. Your mom was, doing her thing, military nursing. So, you might have felt like, you had to do things by yourself. You didn't need it. You see what I'm saying? So don't be too hard and beat on yourself. But the good thing is you acknowledge your attachment style and you wanted to move to where you're more secure into yourself.
Yeah, because I don't want to grow up and be alone. There's no family to be with. I just see you at family gatherings.
And that's a big proponent that's a big part of who I am as a person, as a man. Your dad, family is huge to me. Not just within you guys. Y'all go to Mississippi. It's
everybody knows everybody. Everybody's family. Like I feel like I've talked to people I thought were family, but we're related in no way.
But that's just
there's family. So I definitely know.
Yeah, like that's my uncle, but that's not my uncle.
It's like we're not related. You're not my dad's brother, but we're related though, emotionally.
Yes, and. The thing about family is it goes deeper than blood. Matter of fact, that caveats into this podcast. We was going to talk about family, and we was going to do a recap, but we was going to talk about family because I think that's the biggest thing that has helped me within this podcast is to be more laser focused on what is important to me. Family is huge. And it's not just blood. It's just allowing other men and women in my life to grow with. So
to add on to that, that didn't come out right, but to add on to that, I think this podcast helped me get my priorities straight. Like, which one do I love more? Do I love my alone time or my family? Do I love connection or just connection with myself? Well, I love a connection with myself, but
that's a simple pleasure, right? I think, and that's the key. What you're doing, the audience doesn't see, but she's wiggling her hands, and what that is indicating is balance. It has to be a balance. You can be too extreme in the family and don't allow yourself
to breathe.
Yeah.
It's all about balance. And I think this podcast was like, okay, where do I need to work on that?
Mm-hmm. And that's what I had to do. This really balanced me out on. Like, even letting things go with you guys. Like, I can be, I won't say a helicopter father, but I can be very abrasive and overbearing. I know that's who I am with people that I love, But with this podcast, I've learned how to kind of pull it back, allow you guys to be the young ladies that I know you're going to be. Great, amazing, articulate, smart, beautiful. I don't like to use the word queen because that's overused one. And every time I think of it, I think of European. I just think, when I see you, I see sunshine, everlasting, just life. That's what I see.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a compliment. Thank you.
Well, it was meant as one, so I'm glad you're taking it as that. So, but, we're going to definitely talk about how we going to proceed until your new year starts, August 8th.
Oh, don't say that. Oh, my God.
But until then, to our audience, but, I was about to wrap this up, but you might have some more things you want to put. Got any more that you want to add into?
Well, I don't know if it was this year or last year, but my horoscope, it said this was like a year of progression. And this has definitely been a year of progression.
Yeah. So I got my daughter's. It was like her birth chart read, because a lot of people think when they look at their horoscope, not realizing we have more than one zodiac sign within within our reading. And one of the biggest things to take away is it says she's going to have a year of transformation. Mm-hmm. And transformation, I believe, it kind of cliche, because I know we always having a year of transformation, but what I have recognized with you is you recognize.
Yes.
And definitely. You acknowledge you were self-aware. That was one of my best podcasts too. Self-awareness and consciousness.
Yeah, that was. I forgot about that one. That was a good one. So it was living in the moment and self-awareness.
Oh my God. Yeah, self-awareness was on point. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I learned so much about you in that podcast. I learned so much about me. Like I said, I was being self-aware. Like, man, my daughter is very like, which is impressive. So good for you.
Thank you.
So, but we're gonna be on vacation. On Monday we're leaving and going to Mississippi for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
And you guys coming back, we're gonna do some things here, and then we're gonna do a big vacation at the beach in Galveston. We were going to Florida, but I will put it out on my podcast. They are doing some atrocious things to our black men and women, and brown, but primarily black men and women in Florida. We was going to Florida, but I'm on a slight protest. It's a little hard because their mother is from Florida, and they go to Florida. I'd rather my daughters kind of stay away, but at the end of the day, I can't run from it, but I don't want to spend my money there. I'd rather go there and be an advocate there and try to fight for rights, but I'm not spending my money there. So we changed our plans of going to Florida because of that. And I'm thankful and grateful that you guys kind of understand things I'm passionate about. Mm. And, almost like football. I stopped watching football in 2016. and watched it ever since. And y'all don't even trip. Y'all like...
I don't like football. And the Universal Florida, it wasn't really a compromise to me because, I agreed. So... I'd rather spend my money somewhere else. Well, not my money. I'd rather spend your money somewhere else.
So we good.
Yeah, we good.
So I would like to leave our audience with everybody that listened this year and that has supported our podcast and has sent me emails, let me know how my daughter is doing. She's doing amazing. I'm doing good. I can work on this. I appreciate all of those accolades, because it's accolades. Even when you're giving me improvements, there's accolades, because that's telling me you're listening, and whatever we are saying is having an impact. So I want to thank you guys, and I want you guys to continue with us through this journey.
This is the Triple D's, or
Daddy-Daughter Discussion.